Yeah, in short, basically, okay. In short, basically, the importance of transgender education is to empower at the very first level transgenders themselves and fight for their rights and move on because there's no other way.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, like our Quran also said, I mean, Ikra, the first word is Ikra. So, I mean, what else you need to understand? It applies to every human being. Yeah.
So the next question is, how will trans education affect the employment graph and economy of our country?
Well, I'm not an economist, number one, number one, and number two, transgenders are actually what my observation is so far. They are actually earning to meet their bread and butter. That's it. I mean, they're not globally contributing to the Pakistani economy. No? Well, if given education at that level, maybe they develop home industries and they would start working towards home industries and start contributing towards the economy of the country. Like in India, there's so much of magnitude of home industry that every house is earning something and they're exporting things. And you go abroad and you would say, like in India, they have all those crafts coming in from which are being developed in the home industry. So, well, yes, uh, being education given to them and transgenders acknowledging that and start working towards such projects which would earn not just better living, but a huge magnitude of a chunk of an economic system in Pakistan that might contribute to that. But again, those people are only earning just to meet their ends. Unfortunately, they contributing to the global or national economy is way ahead than their daily life survival problem at the time. This is the main issue. Well, you start contributing, of course, why not? It happens, and the global economy shifts because of education. I mean, education, number one, there's no denial to it. If I start justifying that, oh, giving them education won't take an economy of the Pakistan anywhere, that would be like me telling myself, why are you saying this? It still can. Maybe it takes a little longer to impact, but yes, education gives all those systems, education develops all the systems there. And economics is one of the factors then. And then we need to see how government need to position them at different places to get that living and economic system get going and working for the country. The revenues only generated through transgenders may contribute to it. Maybe they are artists, so they can be sent abroad. I mean, if they're educated, they are well versed. They can go and come back and have trans international communication and traveling, and then link global communities together and see what the projects could be developed. But then this has to be taken up by the government level as well. No? Not just single-handedly transgender does it. I mean, Rahat Fateh Ali Khan, government has nothing to do with it. Na? Atif Aslam, government has nothing to do with it. But then they are popular singers, and then they go and they come back, they earn, they bring dollars in. That contributes to the economy of the system. So maybe if an artist rise to a transgender artist rise to such a level, so maybe it at small chunk can start getting contributed towards it as well. Because I'm not a very economic person, so I don't have any research on the economic side of it. But that's a very business, or I would say sort of a question. But anyhow, if any individual earning at a level in which the revenue is going out of and coming into the country would contribute to the economics of the country as well. Yeah.
So, do you think that transgenders are treated well in our society, and will people accept their right for education?
Listen, uh, well, I mean, I respect them. You respect them because you are educated. I understand. I have awareness. And there are, I think I'm sure there are many more in our society now who have started building this tolerance. But there's a bigger chunk who is still is not tolerant towards them. But having said that, okay, that doesn't keeps us apart. Okay, you don't educate them. What you can call it? I mean, they should not be inclusive into the system in the society. Why not? They should be. And this is going to change, and this has started happening. And you can see transgender representations in the parliament now. You can see transgenders on social media now, representing and fighting for their rights now. I mean, those transgenders are beaten at the very grassroots level, raped and thrown down on the roads, broken, like anything. And they stood up and now they are fighting. I mean, what is this? This one thing, mobile and social media, has changed the realm totally. That is how you know they're transgender now. That is how you know those stories now. So that means they themselves want to get up and rise and talk and face those things. And they are, trust me, they are more bold and brave than you and me sitting in our safe homes. They are not safe out there. So yes, this would make a difference. I mean, the society is getting tolerant towards them, and hopefully, if they keep striving. I mean, listen, let's talk about any community. I mean, the small communities in Pakistan. I mean, religious communities in Pakistan. What is happening to them? Minorities, for that matter. See, but they are one unit. Anywhere in the globe where you see minorities, they are like this. Why? Need tells them to be, because unless they're not like this one unit, everyone will break them apart. So they grow together, they stay together, they dwell together, and that is how it is, and that is how it should be. So if God be with them, they stick together. So they will be accepted. They have been accepted, and things have changed now. They are respected at a lot of places as well. It's not that they're just abused. I mean, if you go back my ages, Khwaja Saraz, I mean, I'm sure you have read this history. Khwaja Saraz were one of the most respected people in the courts. Their prayers are considered to be one of the most divine prayers, that you should not take their badduas, you should take their blessings. All these sort of things were all along there. Well, honestly, try reading through Islam. There are bayanats, there are different chunks in which transgenders have been defined through religion. Who is a real transgender, who is not a real transgender, and who is exploiting it. And if you go through the history, you would know those things also. So as a deen, as a book, as a human, religion tells us to be tolerant towards each other. And it is getting tolerance. Society is getting tolerant, and it will get more tolerant. But again, somebody who doesn't want to change, man, I don't understand. He would never change. But then yes, it is. The society is getting changed now. I'm definitely sure about these things. They're more accepted, more
Yeah,
in the
it
system.
is.
Hmm.
Yeah. So,
Yeah.
sir, when we took Nisha Rao's interview, she said we asked her a question that should transgenders be taught separately? She said that there was no need for that. So I have a question from you regarding this: that why a separate school for transgender? Why aren't they taught with male and female?
Sarah, it's a very good question. The thing is, you know what, Nisha Rao. By the way, Nisha Rao is a transgender. Yeah.
Yes, she
Okay. So
is.
I need. Acha, so anyhow, listen. The thing is that, like, I met. I gave you reference of Sania Basi, right? Sania Basi also got taught and got her education in the normal school system, right? And the other partner of hers was also from a normal school system. Um, by the time they both realized they're transgenders, they were pretty much done by their education. Again, the thing is, they came from privileged families, and their families supported them, and It's not that they didn't face any discrimination around themselves. They did face those discriminations by being in an inclusive system as well. The only problem is, okay, I mean, if I come to know that Nisha Rao is totally right, she's totally right. There's no need. Okay, so the need is for us to change and understand that he's just another human being. Just accept him or her as it is. Number one. What happens is when I went to the gender, I didn't even went to gender guardian school because it was total lockdown. I was totally communicating to them on phone and I have recordings with them. The problem is, okay, those the gender guardian schools offers vocational trainings. Okay, vocational trainings like makeup arts, mostly makeup artists. And then there is some computer classes, there are some tirelessly classes, and some other things. If you look into it, the site, you would know that. The problem is transgenders coming to them are from very, very low and rural backgrounds. The first thing that comes to them is how to sustain and earn their living. And listen, and they feel sick because they've already been thrown out of their homes, treated really badly on the streets. And when they found this shelter place like Gender Guardian, they find their home there because they're all transgenders there. So, number one, they feel safe. You feel safe at your home. I feel safe in my home. So, this is how it is. Not everyone is bold enough out there. I mean, already being treated so badly on the streets, they need to look for shelter and they cling to that. And so the gender guardian school was actually for gender guardians. It's not an vocational school. Oh, sorry, a normal school. Well, in our system of society, like I'm sure with you, with us, there are a lot of people who were being taught in a normal school system and who realized that they are not like normal boys or they're not like normal girls, but they were still there. And none of us, I don't remember making, I mean, yes, some students might have called them by names, name calling, which you call, Jigana, but most of them were still there and got their education there. So I think this gender guardian school concept was not mine, but whoever's concept was it, is to actually to shelter and house them and to give them security and give them a platform to learn a certain skill so that they can survive. Give them a life skill set जो होता है ना उस चीज को कहते हैं तो for that was developed and I'm sure there is no such school who says no transgender can should enter this place still. See, so that's all right. It should be inclusive. You know, I mean, there's normal human beings. The globe is shifting towards when you say inclusive educations, there are students with Down syndromes, with autism, and with other things. Even they are being included in inclusive school systems and normal school systems. Not treating. I mean, this is the new change in the world that's been happening. So just to give those that community confidence that you are normal, that's fine. So they get along as long as they get along, and then when their parents feel the need, then they get the special attention also. So
Lastly,
yeah,
what measures could be taken to promote trans education on national and global level?
acknowledge them as the first and the first, what you can call it, the first class citizens of our country and give them their identity. And I mean, invest, it has been practiced now. You invest, you say much more proportion of transgenders working in any normal sector of the society, and people are being more tolerant towards them. So give them the right to educate, give them their identity, and give them their security. And this would, I mean, you empower any being and it will be with you. The whole universe is one. If I say, give an ant a right to contribute to your system, what does that mean? You just don't kill them. They would keep contributing to their ecosystem. They're designed for that. and your system will be a beautiful system in the end. You start killing rats, and you would see how your ecosystem goes down. You start killing snakes. So likewise, every being in this universe is contributing his or her role to the system, in balancing the whole system in a certain way, in a certain manner. And that is all. We need to respect them as human beings. And when you respect a human being, you're contributing towards a larger system, a larger plan of the universe and the society. I mean, for me, it gets very spiritual and mystic or something like that. But I mean, if you talk about Buddha, you talk about other people. I mean, one of Buddha's philosophies, you don't even kill an animal, an ant, or anything because they're part of one being. And there's reason why Allah has created everyone there. So who are we to do these and say these things being humans?
So, on behalf of the team Support Transgender Uplift, I want to express my sincere gratitude to the respectful Sir Zain Ul Abidin for his incredible generosity in sharing his scholarly thoughts on the importance of transgender education, which was obligatory to be voiced out in promoting the rights of transgenders. Your commitment is highly appreciated. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Thank you so
Thank you
much
so
for
much, sir.
considering me worth. This is so humbling. I am really not that worth.